Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In today's video, I'm going to go over the news from RetroBit regarding their Sega Genesis and Sega Saturn controllers. Let's get started. If you're a fan of the original Sega Genesis, or I guess Sega Master System, or the Sega Saturn, 2019 is going to be a good year for you. You may already know this, you may not. RetroBit is bringing brand new controllers that are based off and officially licensed by Sega for the Sega Genesis and Sega Saturn. Now these were announced a little while back, and I believe they were supposed to come out in 2018. They still have not released, but they are planning a end of February release date for the Genesis style controllers. And if we take a quick peek on their Twitter here, you can see they will be coming out for a manufacturer suggested retail price of $20. And this is strictly for the Genesis or Megadrive style of controller. One thing I did notice here on this controller is that there is a mode button. So the controller overall looks nearly identical to the old Genesis controller, except for this mode button. If we head over to their website, they made this announcement back in August, and it says here that they are coming out with a number of Genesis, Mega Drive, Saturn controllers. And based on the information here, I'm not entirely sure if they will do a dual port. So for example, on their SNES controller by RetroBit, they have one. Well, I have one actually. It's got the SNES port and the USB port on one controller. So I can plug it into the SNES or I can plug it into the computer if need be. Whereas here, it looks like they're listing them as two separate controllers. And I can see Genesis wired 6-button original port controller, black and clear blue. Genesis wired 8-button USB port controller, black and cleared blue. So it does look like two different controllers, and that would also explain the mode button for the controller. And the Genesis controllers are coming out at the end of February. The controller here, one of them that really caught my eye was this Sega Saturn controller. Now, while the Genesis controller, the 6-button controller in particular, is very good for fighting games because it's got all 6 buttons on the face of it, the Sega Saturn controller was in a league of its own. A lot of people really liked the Sega Saturn controller. They liked how it felt, they liked how it performed, they liked almost everything about it. Now, for people who prefer PC gaming and emulation, there were unicorn controllers, and I will call them unicorn controllers. Unicorn Sega Saturn USB controllers. They're extremely rare, especially to find an authentic one, but there were some that were available for purchase. They come up every now and then on places like eBay for very marked up prices because they're highly sought after. And what it looks like they've done here is taken that Sega Saturn controller and added analog sticks to it. 2 analog sticks here, so you have the left analog and the right analog. I really think this is a winning combination for the controller. I am really looking forward to this one. And if we look at the comments here, they say this is Bluetooth and will have a USB Bluetooth dongle, which means really it's like 2.4 gigahertz, which is actually pretty good. So I'm not sure what the final specifications of this controller are going to be. Can you plug it in via USB? Is it going to work like the GameSir, where it works via Bluetooth, works via dongle, works via USB? And now in terms of quality, RetroBit used to be very hit and miss. They've gotten a lot better over the years. Most recently, the latest product I picked up from them was a Street Fighter themed SNES controller, both USB and the SNES port. And it's actually very good. I'm very impressed with the controller. It feels great, it works well, and I really like it. So I'm hoping the quality is the same, if not better, as I'm expecting them to keep improving for these Sega Saturn controllers. And they're officially licensed as well from Sega. Now, please do not confuse these controllers with this Saturn style USB controller, as you can see right here from RetroBit. This is a completely different controller altogether. So you can see on this controller there is no Sega branding. It is an earlier version of the controller, I will say, if that's a fair assessment. So don't be mistaken if you are looking for the official Sega branded controllers. You will have to wait to the end of February. If you want the Sega Saturn controller with the dual analog sticks, that will be done in the summer. So anything you see on their store right now regarding Sega Genesis or Sega Saturn is not the official one if you don't see the Sega branding. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. I think it's pretty exciting news. I've also got some more news for Sega Genesis and Saturn fans out there coming soon. Anyways, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like the video, leave a like. Please hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think of RetroBit controllers in the comments below. Thanks everyone, take care.